Cuisine, serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We are open 24 hours, 7 days a week. We offer free in-house delivery, minimum $20 purchase, and we also have Uber Eats. We do barbecue Thursdays, fish fry Fridays, and seafood Saturdays. For more information, give us a call for our address and menu, 718-324-7484. Once again, that's 718-324-7484. Cooler Runnings Restaurant, simply the best Jamaican food. It's here, the 12th District Community Engagement Fun in the Sun on Saturday, August 1st, 2020. It's virtual, it's uplifting, and all about love.
10,000 boxes of food.
Boxes of love.
Will be given away for free at 11 a.m. on Saturday, August 1 in approximately 40 locations to be provided by the faith community and other charitable organizations. For location details, follow us on our Facebook page, Fun in the Sun Bronx. At 6 p.m., tune in to our YouTube channel and Facebook Live Fun in the Sun NYC. Live performances by
Carlene Davis, Glacier Robinson, O'Dane Roden,
and the Worship Experience. Dance and spoken word artists. Pastor Donnie McLaughlin and Pastor Paul Peart will share messages of upliftment. Andy King, council member for the 12th District of the New York City Council, will address the audience.
For more information, you can call us at 914-275-3961 or 917-374-8580. You can also visit our Facebook page, Fun in the Sun Bronx, New York, or visit our website, funinthesun.nyc. This virtual event is sponsored by Good Neighbors Community Outreach Agency, New Testament Temple Church of God,
DYCD,
Victoria Mutual Building Society,
Corey's Eats,
the New York City Council,
IHOP,
Glory Music,
S&Y Grace, and New York City Council member Andy King of the 12th District. once I come on air, there's a melody that's just ringing all over in my mind. Yeah. Hey, everybody, good afternoon to you. 21 minutes after 5 o'clock. Inside the Zone, the Monday Drive, keeping you in the know in the city you walk, drive, and reside. My name is Denise, Lady D. Gomez. What a beautiful Monday. Monday. It's a good Monday. I am here with you until 7 o'clock. The Monday Drive, keeping you in the know in the city you walk, drive, and reside. Linkage Radio, the community platform, has it going on with Lady D here today. It is now 22 minutes after 5 o'clock. July 13th. What's happening on July 13th? I have 2 family members who are born on this date. So in our family chat on the WhatsApp, we've been just talking all day. We do politics, religion, everything. But the birthday, the birthday we celebrate. As always on a Monday afternoon, what do I have in store for you? But before that, how was your weekend? I hope you had a great one. I hope you were with family and friends. I hope that everything is going well for you today. What kind of Monday is it today? In terms of my music, the genre, yeah. What kind of music do I have on a Monday afternoon? I started since 2 Mondays ago. And each Monday I'm featuring a famous band. It doesn't matter the genre, but I'm a lover of Steel Pulse. So it's my Steel Pulse Monday. You like Steel Pulse like I do? I love Steel Pulse ever since. Steel Pulse Monday. Coming up in my Monday beat, chasing the Monday blues out of here. Voices, intellectual voice that has everyone talking. I will be playing a clip with an interview that I found, and I thought it was so enlightening, with Barrington Levy. The songs that shaped One Extra in Jamaica. Yeah, I'll be doing that this afternoon. Each and every year, I have my countdown to Jamaica's independence. I have one of the songs that I'll be playing for you. One of the entry songs for this year's JCDC Festival Song Competition. And after that, I'll be featuring the history of Jamaican breadfruit. Man. You like it roasted, or you like it fried, or you like it boiled, baked. At 6 p.m., I have Keeping You in the Know with news, happenings, and facts. Chris Wilby joins me 25 minutes after 5 o'clock. Our telephone number is 914-600-4228. That's 914-600-4228. Linkage Radio 104.5, 101.7, and Sign FM broadcasting with me. 88.9. A very pleasant good afternoon to the young, the old, the young at heart, the dancing feet, just about everyone tuning into the show. I have a lot to do until 7 o'clock, so you stick and stay with me. Share the word. Inside the Zone is on
YouTube, my live stream, Inside the Zone. That's all you need to type, Inside the Zone live stream. I'll pop up. I'm wearing my T-shirt today, my work shirt. Yes, and of course, I want to say to those of you who want to follow me on my social media platforms, ITZ Radio. Okay, hashtag ITZ Radio, ITZ Community Life, and ITZ Lady D Denise Gomez. That's it. That's all I'm saying. If you're tuning in for the very first time, I'd like to welcome you to Linkage Radio. We bring you the best in roots rock, reggae, R&B, disco, gospel, calypso, and a host of other selections aired right here on your budding and buzzing station. It's time for the Monday Beat, chasing the Monday blues out of here. It's my Steel Pulse Monday. Let me acknowledge the caller very quickly. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Lady G.
Good afternoon, dear. How are you?
I'm not too bad. I'm like my best food to cook.
Oh, you like it cooked. You like it cooked. You like it boiled. All right, good.
Yeah, I like it to cook.
Yes. You're doing okay?
Yes, Lady G, I'm doing fine.
Nice. All right, I'm going to play some Steel Pulse for you now.
Okay, thank you, Lady G. And you have a wonderful evening.
You too. Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Says I'm feeling great. Whoa, the darker the from detective. Him have to run like a fugitive. Him have to run from detective. Samuel Thomas is the thief name. He must lead a life of shame. Some of them call him Uncle Sam. Some of them call him Uncle Tom. Uncle Sam and Uncle Tom, yes, they are the same man. Yes, they aim is steal away music. T-O-M-E-T for our music. The drum and the bass have to move me way. Lyrics and song have to keep me strong. Rhythm and scat have chop it down. Samuel Thomas.
Lord, lyrics, boy. I have to go try them stuff one of these days. I mean, I've grown up around so many, DJs, down in your community, up in your community, across in your community, or over. So in your community, there was always a sound system, right? I grew up with Downbeat, Roy Cole, all those men who had their big sounds, and then they had a lounge down in the square or the crossroad, whatever you had. Of course, as children, we couldn't go, but then they introduced go-go and all them kind of stuff there. And so we heard music. I'm no expert, but I know good music. So I wanted to share my Steel Pulse Monday with you. Good afternoon. Want to say hi to Happy and Aldith and Pat, and there are some other people on, but I don't know, they're not, when you come on the veranda, but you don't step into the living room. That's what's going on. But good afternoon to you. 914-600-4228, reminding you to log on to my YouTube channel, Inside of the Zone live stream, and you'll catch me there this afternoon. Taking you to some more Steel Pulse on a Monday with yours truly, Lady D, Denise Gomez. And right after that, I have Voices, the intellectual voice that has everyone talking. Little did I know, I'm going to air this previously recorded interview with Barrington Levy. Learned so much about the man, but I'm not able to play it in its entirety, but certainly I'll, complete it next week for you. I'll follow through. And so you have to stick and stay today and be able to catch up next week in terms of how it unfolds. A little bit about this man. More music. Stepping out on a Monday. And the Monday Drive. Keeping you in the know, in the city you walk, drive, and reside. Stepping out. Yeah.
Stepping out. Stepping out. Open sesame, here comes Rastaman. Abacadabra, catch me if you can. You cannot see it nowhere on earth. Can this reggae be found? I say, I know you find it hard to believe.
5:35 p.m. time signal brought to you by Cooler Runnings Jamaican Restaurant, 1802 Nareed Avenue in the Bronx.
Right now, commanding you to dance. Rain down, rain down, rain down, brimstone, thunder and lightning, hurricane, ooh, cyclone.
Breaking it down for you on a Monday afternoon. Of course, I'm going to come back to that song, but I have to keep the program moving. It's now time for Voices, brought to you by Corey's Eats, 3762 Boston Road. Get your red velvet waffle, your banana nut waffle, Oreo, Belgium, chocolate chip, blueberry, cinnamon, so much more. 347-947-9200. Welcome to Voices. Whose voice will you be hearing this afternoon? The voice of Barrington Levy in an interview that I thought was good. The songs that shaped One Extra in Jamaica.
We are here in the heartland of Jamaica, deep in central Clarendon. And when I say heartland, I mean heartland.
Heartland.
We're almost in the center spot of Jamaica. Somebody said to me years ago, if you want to go and find Barrington Levy, you're going to go into the country, and then you're going to go into the country deep.
And then you go in the country. You cannot buy the air that you're breathing up here, man. It's unbelievable.
Barrington, this is absolutely incredible.
Thank you,
It's
David.
breathtaking. We're on top of Carty Hill with St. James Hill over there. We are almost in the geographical center of the island of Jamaica.
That's right.
But you're a Kingstonian, so how did you end up out here?
Well, as a kid, my mom used to take me down here to look for my grandma, because this is where my mom is from. So eventually, my mom get redundant from her job in Kingston. So she said she's gonna go back to her hometown to live, and that's how I end up in the middle of the island. But I'm glad, because this here is where I get my inspiration to be a singer, because when I come here, I was actually 7 years old. So while here and here and here and there, and then okay, say I need to sing, because I used to watch television and see Michael Jackson, Dennis Brown, and his afro, and Michael Jackson with the big afro, and I'm like, whoa, I want to sing. So from then I know that I have a passion for music, and this place suit me well, musically speaking.
So you were a big fan of the Jackson 5.
Yes.
And when did it become apparent to you that you had this unique voice?
You know, one time over by my grandma's house, I was over there and sitting down. I come from school and I sit down and sing, and I was singing. The next day, I was getting disturbed by my brother and sister because they was teasing me. So the next day, I went beside my auntie's house, which is in the bush, sitting down singing and minding my own business, because I used to sing with my eyes closed. And this lady named Sister Daughter passed by and see me singing, and take her time and screech up on me, because I didn't see her. And she touched me, and like frightened and turned around. And she said, oh my God, you can sing, eh? You have a good voice. And the lady hold me by my hand and walk with me. And she was rubbing the head and back of my head and said, yeah man, you can sing. And she take me straight to my mom and said, Sister Levy, this boy can sing, you know. That lady don't know what she did for me. She actually blew my nerves. Because, I mean, that was my first fan right there.
7 years of age?
Yes.
And was it here in this district, or was
Yes,
it...
it's right here in this district. Well, when I lived Kingston, I was more worried about what am I going to eat later on. I mean, always what I'm going to eat. Just when I come down here now and start to grow, I realized that, oh, this is what I want to do, and I want to do when I get older. And I choose music.
Life in the countryside in those days, back in the 60s, compared to now, is it different?
Way, 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 way different, David. There wasn't no street, no lights, no proper roads.
No electricity?
No electricity, no, nothing at all. It was just mostly trees. A lot of trees them cut down. And
Still got a lot of trees, though.
Yes, but...
Kerosene
now,
lamp.
Kerosene lamp, yes. Home sweet home. That's what they call them back down in the days. Now, we have more than what they have in Kingston because we have the good fresh air. But everything is here. Lights, road, telephone, internet. We're up to the time in this place right now. So, you know, I mean, from them time to now, is a lot of improvement. Trust me.
Growing up here, between here and Kingston, as you said, you came here to live with your mother. She came back to the country where her mother was from. You would have been listening to the radio. Occasionally, there would have been some television to look at, as you described. But what sort of songs do you really specifically remember from that period that you heard on the radio
I used to love Dennis Brown. Money in my pocket, but I just can't get no love. Love I had in mind, very, very hard to find. So she says she coming, but I don't believe a word she said.
Oh, she ran away and left me on a rainy day. Money in my pocket, but I just can't get no love. Money in my pocket, but I just can't get no love.
And then, you know what I mean, it goes on. I used to watch Michael Jackson, as I said, I mostly watch Michael Jackson, and everybody was talking about how young he was. But I didn't know a song. I remember a song that he was singing from back down in there to say, I would sing it now. But he inspired me by just watching him, this kid with his afro and doing his thing, you know what I mean? I was actually maybe 1 year or so older than me, or 2 years older than me. But Michael Jackson was a good inspiration for me.
But you mentioned that you're a big fan of John Holt.
Of course, John Holt, yes, Marcia Griffith.
What was special about John Holt's voice?
That man have a voice that never goes. Even when God bless his soul, rest in peace, but even when he died, he still have that voice. The same tone every time John Holt sing. Spot on.
Baby, I love you to want me the way that I want you, the way that it should be. Baby, you love me to want you the way that I want you. If you'd only let it be.
Yeah, even
Perfect
before, because he was ill, but he was still performing just weeks before he died.
And he still sound the same.
He did.
And that John Holt voice just stands out, it sticks out.
You also sung a Treasure Isle song, Moonlight Lover. You must have known that.
I know Moonlight Lover, yes. And Moonlight Lover is a nice song from I was a kid.
You're my moonlight, moonlight lover. When you walk along with me, whoa,
I'm going to show you a couple of things now that you may not have seen for some time, because in my experience, most artists do not have their own recordings.
No, I don't.
And the reason for that, I've been told over the years, is quite simply that they had their own recordings, but occasionally an artist would be issued with a final pressing of his record or her record, but within a short space of time, relatives and friends would ask to get a copy, and often would end up without their own records. If I showed you that record, what memories does that immediately bring back to you as one of your songs that you wrote, and it became a massive hit? And we're talking about 1980 on the label.
Oh, well, those were the hungry days.
The hungry days.
Yes.
You were hungry?
Hell yes. Come on, David. Well, me, myself, and I, coming in the business, it was hard, very hard. The day I was going to voice that song, I actually have to beg a ride from my location to go there, and I went through a lot of disrespect. Oh, every time you come, you never have money. Oh, find your fare to go. Anyway, the person dropped me off and said, remember, I know, when you're going back down, make sure you have your fare. And I stand there for a long time, and I feel shame. Like, wow. And I walked from Crossroads and went down to Joe Gibbs' studio. And when I went down there, it was sad because I have to stand there and wait from like 7 o'clock in the morning till around 5 o'clock in the evening. No lunch, no money. And they put me in the studio and said, okay, voice.
What have you got? Was it like that? Did they say to you, what have you got? Just voice?
No, they're telling me to come back to the studio like 50,000 million times. And then when I turn up, they decide now that Dennis Brown was a voice in at that time. and certain people wasn't fine, so they have the studio free. So they said, come in, and we went and they give me that rhythm, and I just, there I go.
What, you sung that? You'd written the song beforehand?
Mm-hmm. Well, I just actually did this after the hook line, My Woman, and then I make it along the way.
You gonna sing it for us? Sing us a bit.
My woman, keep giving me problems. My woman, she is a problem. My woman.
One of his all-time best ever hits, I tell you.
Leave with
Stay with me for part 2 next week. You'll get more of this interesting interview with Barrington Levy. And the interview, of course, you recognize his voice, David Rodigan. Yep. So I'll be back with that wrap up. Well, it's actually 34 minutes and 14 seconds, so you've only gotten 20 minutes and 29 out of it. But certainly, those of you who are on, come back next week. That's the little hook. You talked about the hook. Well, yeah, I'm hooking you. Come back next week. 914-600-4228, 914-600-4228. This is Linkage Radio 104.5, 101.7. My name is Lady D. Denise Gomez. It's Monday, the Monday Drive, keeping you in the know in the city you walk, drive, and reside. You're somewhere. You're either home working, you're in your office, you just left work, you're driving, you're home recuperating, something is going on with you. But of course, you've decided to spend the time with me this afternoon, and that's what I like. Did I tell you it's Steel Pulse Monday? But before I get into that, I do have my sponsors. Stay with me.
When you are hungry, come to Cooler Runnings Restaurant. Located at 1802 Nereida Avenue, corner of Wickham Avenue in the Bronx, we specialize in the best Jamaican and American cuisine, serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We are open 24 hours, 7 days a week. We offer free in-house delivery, minimum $20 purchase, and we also have Uber Eats. We do barbecue Thursdays, fish fry Fridays, and seafood Saturdays. For more information, give us a call for our address and menu, 718-324-7484. Once again, that's 718-324-7484. Cooler Runnings Restaurant, simply the best Jamaican food. It's here, the 12th District Community Engagement Fun in the Sun on Saturday, August 1st, 2020. It's virtual, it's uplifting, and all about love.
10,000 boxes of food
Boxes of love.
will be given away for free at 11 a.m. on Saturday, August 1 in approximately 40 locations to be provided by the Faith Community and other charitable organizations. For location details, follow us on our Facebook page, Fun in the Sun Bronx. At 6 p.m., tune in to our YouTube channel and Facebook Live, Fun in the Sun NYC. Live performances by
Carlene Davis, Glacier Robinson, O'Dane Roden.
and the Worship Experience. Dance and spoken word artists Pastor Donnie McLaughlin and Pastor Paul Peart will share messages of upliftment. Andy King, council member for the 12th District of the New York City Council, will address the audience.
For more information, you can call us at 914-275-3961 or 917-374-8580. You can also visit our Facebook page, Fun in the Sun Bronx, New York, or visit our website, funinthesun.nyc. This virtual event is sponsored by Good Neighbors Community Outreach Agency, New Testament Temple Church of God,
DYCD,
Victoria Mutual Building Society,
Corey's Eats,
the New York City Council,
IHOP,
Glory Music,
S&Y Grace, and New York City Council member Andy King of the 12th District.
Corey's Eats, 3762 Boston Road. Fried chicken, curry chicken, stew peas, beef patty, chicken patty, jerk chicken, jerk pork, fried fish, steam and brown stew fish, shrimp and fries, rasta pasta, pastries, and more. Get your chocolate chip waffle to go. 3762 Boston Road. Call them 347-947-9200. Say you heard it here on the show, Inside the Zone, with Lady D, Denise Gomez. Good afternoon, everyone. 5:51 p.m. I got more music. I got more Steel Pulse. Anybody need somebody to guard them this afternoon? Bodyguard. Steel Pulse Monday.
Every time you meet the public, you get scared and you start to panic. Who got a gun? Oh, got a bomb? Who got a knife? Who's gonna lose their life? So-called leaders, eh? With deceitful faces, corruption. In a high place, your hands filled with bribes. Mouth pours out lies, yeah. Cause of all oppression. Now running for protection. Bodyguard, I wouldn't like your job. Snakes in the grass. Since I know not God. All the tricksters drinking human blood. Concrete heart can hold no love. I just can't sorry for the bodyguard. Bulletproof vest strapped to your chest. Under your collar is getting hot. Whoa, got a gun? Who got a bomb? Who got a knife? Who's gonna lose their life? Bodyguard, I wouldn't like your job. Snakes in the grass, so no, not God. Politics that's drinking human blood. Concrete heart can hold no love. Bodyguard, I wouldn't like your job. Snakes in the grass, says I know not God. Politics that's drinking human blood. Concrete heart can hold no love. Don't feel no way. I just can't sorry for the bodyguard. Who got a gun? Who got a bomb? Who got a knife? Who's gonna lose their life? Bodyguard, I wouldn't like your job. Snakes in the grass, no, not God. Politics that's drinking human blood. Concrete heart can hold no love. Bodyguard,
I wouldn't like your job, Mr. Bodyguard.
no, not God.
Steel Pulse on a Monday. Here in the Monday Drive, keeping you in the know in the city you walk, drive, and reside. What's coming up?
Some government,
A Jamaica ting. Keeping you in the know.
parliament. I just can't sorry for the bodyguard. I just can't sorry for the bodyguard. All that fretting, all that checking.
That's what I'm talking about on a Monday afternoon with yours truly, Lady D, Denise Gomez with the bodyguard, Steel Pulse. Hey, everybody. Our telephone number is 914-600-4228. That's 914-600 if you rather, or if you prefer, 914-600-4228. Here on Linkage Radio 104.5, 101.7, and 88.9. Taking you now to my quick turnaround. It's so quick that I might not even be able to keep up myself. So quick. Want to take you to a Jamaica ting.
It's a land of special people, a place where champions grow. A magical vibe, so much more than you will ever know. You can't ignore the music, reggae so profound. And when it comes to the track, you know that Jamaica won't back down. On top of the world, we're more than just an island in the sun. A great nation, by Marley say, welcome everyone to Jamaica, sweet Jamaica.
I wonder how fast I can make this work for all of us. 3 minutes to 6 o'clock. Let's talk about the breadfruit mutiny on the Bounty and the arrival of the breadfruit. These dramatic words heralded the start of an equally dramatic voyage to collect a simple fruit, named for the fact that its thick, white, starchy interior is reminiscent of bread. The breadfruit was in high demand by the 18th century British West Indian planters, particularly those in Jamaica. Between 1780 and 1786, Jamaica suffered from alternating hurricanes and long periods of drought throughout that destroyed crops. Slave provision grounds were hard hit and there was a major food shortage. The planters were concerned because they knew that without a reliable food source, their slaves would die of starvation. From as early as the 16th and 17th centuries, there had been talk of a tree in the Pacific Islands that provided a source of bread all year round. The planters offered large rewards to any captain who would bring back such a miraculous plant. When this failed, they petitioned King George III to organize a special expedition to find and deliver it. Captain William Bligh, an experienced 33-year-old seaman who had sailed with Captain Cook on his second voyage around the world from 1772 to 1775, was named commander of this expedition. His crew, including first mate and good friend Fletcher Christian, set sail from Portsmouth, England, to Tahiti and Timor on the HMS Bounty a few days before Christmas, 1787. Their mission: to collect seedless breadfruit plants and deliver them to Jamaica. Thus, our connection to the mutiny on the Bounty, what may seem as the greatest mutiny ever. Some 10 months later, the Bounty arrived in Tahiti, set up camp, and Bligh began the process of collecting the plants. So tireless was Bligh's pursuit of the plant that he soon earned the nickname Breadfruit Bligh. 5 months and over 1,000 plants later, Bligh decided to set sail for the Caribbean. 2 weeks into that 1789 ocean voyage, however, members of his crew, led by First Mate Christian, mutinied. They set Bligh and 18 crew members who remained loyal to him adrift in an open boat and threw the breadfruit plants overboard. Some were used to stone Bligh. This treacherous act, which was turned into a famous history now terms the most famous mutiny ever, may have been committed because Christian wanted to return to Tahiti, where he had found his true love. Others say the reason for the crew's anger was Bly's arrogance and his excessive concern about the survival of the precious breadfruit cargo. Bly is said to have denied crew members water in favor of using it to irrigate the plants. The mutineers set a course for Tahiti, leaving Bly with very little food, dependent on his pocket watch, sextant, and his navigational skills for survival. Luckily for him, they were outstanding. Bly completed what many feel is still one of the greatest recorded feats of navigation. He covered over 3,600 miles in 41 days before setting foot back on land. It is no wonder that many consider Bly one of the greatest sailors to have ever lived. Only one of the 18 men with Bly died, and that was due to stoning by angry natives on an island where they tried to land for provisions. Meanwhile, Christian and the rest of the mutineers realized they could not return to Tahiti for fear of execution. They therefore sailed around the Cook Islands looking for a place to hide from the British warships they assumed were after them. The mutineers eventually would up in the Pitcairn Islands of the South Pacific. Within 10 years, only a few of the mutineers were left alive. One of them, John Adams, repented and became a reformed Christian, eventually giving his name to the capital of Pitcairn, Adamstown. As for Bly, he was exonerated and sent on a second voyage to collect the breadfruit for the West Indies. This time he set sail with more men and more ships. Although he suffered from fevers and migraines during his second voyage, he managed to deliver over 2,000 plants, representing 5 different varieties to the Caribbean. On February 5, 1793, his ship, the HMS Providence, landed in Jamaica, stopping first at Port Royal and moving on to Port Morant, where some of the trees were unloaded and planted at the Bath Botanic Garden, where some of the trees remain today. Plants were also distributed to other parishes. This was not Bly's first visit to Jamaica. He had lived in Lucy, Hanover, from 1783 to 87. Bly was awarded 1,500 guineas by the Jamaican Assembly. The breadfruit grew naturally on Jamaican soil, but it took many years before the slave population would attempt to eat the fruit they regarded as strange. Today, the breadfruit tree can be found all over Jamaica and enjoys strong ties to Caribbean cuisine. On that 1793 voyage, Captain Bly also introduced what we now call Otaheite apples. Their names comes from their island of origin, Tahiti, which in the 16th and 17th centuries was widely known as Otaheite. So much to share on this show, Inside the Zone with Lady D, Denise Gomez. 4 minutes after 6 o'clock, and I am now... You know?
Lady D.
Sir.
Good evening, howdy. How you do?
No, none of us sound prepared. What you say, Chris? Good afternoon, Chris Welby.
Me still trying to figure this thing out, what I can and what I cannot do while I'm live on the air. So, oh, Lord of mercy,
so
help me.
What
so,
can I help?
It's a trial and error thing. I'm hearing you loud and clear. I'm hearing you. But what I was doing, I was trying, because I was bringing you live, then I'm trying to dial your number, and I realized that at one point there was dead ear because I'm trying to navigate between switching from you and the telephone and everything. It's so, but I'm still learning to manipulate this.
You need
you?
You need a studio engineer, a technician, a
Yes,
a
absolutely.
producer.
I do need a studio engineer.
Oh, Lord.
So,
Okay. I'll send one over by
How are you?
FedEx. Good. I'm good. I was just reading up about
Okay,
Captain
that's
Bligh
good, that's
and the
good.
fruit
It's
and the
good that you're
breadfruit. Yeah. I
how
was
was
just
your weekend?
good, fun in the sun. That was it.
Sure. Okay, working hard at it, eh?
Yes. You'd be surprised. Many people wouldn't realize how much work you still have to put in, though it's a virtual event. You have to write the script. You have to, you have to write your cues. You have to, the run of show, and everything has to be sequential. And yeah. What can I say? We're in production, so that's what it comes with. But I am happy to hear you. You are well, and we are here today to talk news. That's all we do on a Monday
That's fine,
afternoon.
as usual.
As usual, and a lot is going on, and there are lots of new stuff that have popped up. And so, we just say, hey, everybody. Oh, Jackie says she loved, hey, it's my Steel Pulse Monday, so I was playing some selections from Steel Pulse.
Yeah, I heard some of them while I was preparing.
Yeah, they're one of my favorite groups. So, we're here today. I don't know, you working on technical matters and I can do selfie. We didn't do any selfie. There was no selfie last week because I was flying solo. And, the camaraderie that we have between the two of us, though I can do news. I mean, I can do news. But, you were missing. So I just wants you to know.
Oh,
yes.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Thank you.
It's
nice to know that I was missed. So.
Right. So me did miss you, and the audience missed you as well.
Good.
Just saying.
Yeah, so I want to apologize to the listeners because I was getting ready, literally getting ready to come on here and something popped up. And I had to...
You had to go
take care of business. So,
of course.
Yeah.
Now,
So
I'm wondering if I have
unavailable.
my same connection here. I'm not sure. Something is about to happen. Hold on. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Lady D. Good afternoon, Chris. How are you both this beautiful evening?
Well, he would like to say he's fine, but he disappeared.
You mean he's missing in action?
Oh, Jesus. He disappeared.
Chris is like a slithery fox. 1 minute he's here and the next minute he's not there.
That has a lot to do with me, so I'm about to send a note over to my technical operator.
Oh, boy.
Because it's the technical operator's fault.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to say, Lady D, thanks for that information about the breadfruit. So breadfruit got right to passage.
Can you
Mighty
imagine?
goodness.
And Mr. Bligh got about 1,500 guineas at the time.
You see how we take things for granted. I never knew the history. And it is such powerful information, and thank you.
Yes, you're most
welcome.
Yes.
Okay.
No problem.
All right, Lady D, I'm not going to hold up your time. I just wanted to put my little 2 cents in, okay?
Thank you. No problem.
Okay, you're welcome. All right, bye-bye.
All righty. That was Pat. So I know Mr. Wilby will be calling in momentarily. And again, I'm about to place a call to my technical director so he can address something for me. But I'd like to welcome you, everyone, to, what's going on here on a Monday. So stay with me, DJ Linkage. Don't go anywhere. Stay with me. All right, more music. Chris Wilby calls me back in a few. And also, just want you to know that I have a selection to play for you because JCDC Festival Song Competition is in full swing. And Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Here we go. Okay, I do apologize for that. I'm multitasking here.
From you know, say you're proud to be a Jamaican. Beat your pot cover and run up and down. Bang-a-lang-a-lang-a-lang, yeah. We are Jamaica. More than 50 years strong. We are Jamaica. We have to get along. We are Jamaica. Tell me if I'm wrong. We are Jamaica. Help me sing the song. On August 6th, 1962, black, green and gold for red, white and blue. Say bye-bye to the Queen and the Union Jack. Forward ever, never looking back. No pot cover of the beat for that. Bang, balang, balang, balang. Hey! Jamaica dominate the scenes. Reggae music to beauty queens. What's up, pose? Selfie we self. We real to the core, now be nobody else. We little but the large and we set no record. Jamaica sell off good woman and
I am now hearing music. Good evening.
Welcome
to
back.
you.
Welcome back,
Lady
Chris.
Yes, Lady D.
Yes, welcome back to you.
yes.
I'm just having a matter addressed here so that our conversation will be fluid and we will be able to have multiple calls coming in. So I'm having that.
Okay.
And okay,
That
so
sounds good.
thank you, my dear DJ Linkage, the expert in the business.
All right. Big up yourself, Linkage.
Right, right. Okay, so welcome everyone. 12 minutes after 6 o'clock. So it wasn't your fault, Chris. I picked up Pat and, that was it for you.
Yeah, that's all right. And I was entertaining the guests on my page in the meantime. You were doing that. So,
So I'd like to say
wasn't
good
just
afternoon
stranded.
to the viewers over there at Caribbean Vibes Radio. I must do a drop for you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Of course. Why not?
And how come your voice not over here on Inside the Zone? So, no selfie for you today, Chris. None. Not a selfie. Punishment for you. All righty, ladies and gentlemen, it's now time for the news. Welcome to Keeping You in the Know with news, happenings, and facts, brought to you by Corey's Eats and Cooler Runnings Jamaican Restaurant. Alrighty, I was doing the jig and enjoying the intro. Welcome, everyone. We have news for you this afternoon. Here, there, everywhere, you name it, we have it. As always, my guest, Chris Welby, my co-host, Chris Welby, my party, Chris Welby. What do you have?
I noticed that. I kind of noticed that I get promotion and demotion
in the same sentence.
It depends, but I think it depends on the week. I get promotion and demotion. Sometimes I wonder, I just go with the flow. I just go with the flow, Lady D.
I just need to get it together. All right, start.
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much once again for having us into your living rooms, into your homes, into your cars, wherever, on your mobile devices. Thank you for tuning in. You know what I always say, Lady D?
Mm-hmm.
I say to the listeners, there are so many different outlets, so many different platforms that they can choose.
Mm-hmm.
And I appreciate every minute that they spend with me. So I appreciate every minute you're spending with us because we know that you could have been elsewhere. So we do appreciate your presence.
Yes.
And we thank you very, very much.
Alrighty,
All right,
nice.
so we're about to begin the news. Lady D, there's something that caught my attention, and I'm going to start with that one. Marital rape law looms. Senate approves report of Sexual Offences Act and related statute. And I'm reading from the Jamaica Gleaner. It says here a report from a joint select committee that deliberated on the Sexual Offences Act and related statutes was yesterday approved by the upper house, setting the stage for husbands to be criminally charged for raping their wives. A move bound to provoke some religious conservatives who insist marriage gives unconditional consent in sexual affairs. Commissioner Johnson Smith, a leader of government business in the Senate, yesterday led the debate on the report, which was later approved by lawmakers. The Joint Select Committee had reviewed the sexual offenses, the domestic violence, the offenses against the person, and the Child Care and Protection Act. Quote, married women who are raped by their husbands will no longer have to fulfill certain conditions to qualify for legislative protection. The committee recommended that once a woman has withheld her consent in a relationship, irrespective of whether it appears in marriage or not, it is to be considered rape. End quote. Johnson Smith told the Senate. It was recognized that rape is an act of violence and marriage is an institution which must be fostered in a context of love and mutual respect, not violence, she added. The committee looking at rape and other sexual offenses has recommended that convicts of these offenses, though committed overseas, be added to a Jamaican database as a requirement upon landing in the island. The Sexual Offences Act has been recommended to play an obligation on persons who have relocated or been returned to Jamaica and have been convicted of a sexual offense abroad or have been listed in a sex offenders registry abroad to report to the authorities, and as such, they should be listed on the sex offenders registry in Jamaica, she said. Constitutional lawyer Dr. Lloyd Barnett, weighing on the development in the Senate, told the Gleaner that the mere registration of a person would not likely cause any constitutional issue. Merely registering a person, I don't think would be a problem. The question is what follows after that. If you are restricting the movement, then you get other questions. And if you are going to make it available to persons who should not get it, then that would be a problem. The government would have access to what a person would have been in prison for. You don't need that person to tell you that. It is a matter of public record, Barnett said. The Senate leader said there was a recognition of operational weakness in the current sex offenders registry and recommended that the Ministry of National Security audit the administration and operation of the registry. Having been approved yesterday, the report will now form the basis for legislators to make changes to the various pieces of statute.
Oh, well.
Lady.
Yes, sir. This is interesting. I read it earlier when you sent it to me, and I said to myself, well, Jamaica has decided that they are taking an aggressive approach to the myriad of alleged cases brought before the courts and those that were actually not reported, but many people are aware of them. It's public knowledge that husband and wives have had this kind of encounter. And also, I believe they're sending a message that the days when you would say, she belonged to me, what she have is mine, will now have to be reconsidered. And they are pushing the envelope that if you're overseas and you have committed that kind of atrocious act, be it known that you'll be on record. So once you land, all of that information will just pop up.
Yes, and yeah, go ahead.
No, and I'm saying that this might not be the full extent of the leveraging of control, right? But certainly, if a woman reports, and no, we're not, when we talk about these things, you and I, we always break them down in seed form. Why? Because it's not the general rule across the board that most men are out there abusing their wives. And we also understand that there are women who, if they just get sick and tired of you, they might just pull off something, right? If they want to sever a relationship, that kind of thing. But if it is a genuine case that there is abuse in the marriage, in the home, and it is brought before the court, you have to pay the consequence. You have to pay your dues for that. So
yeah, and it just like in every other, with every other law, it must be investigated. If a crime was committed or not, the police need to investigate. So, yes, you may find vindictive persons who would want to get back at people, and they try to use this law to do that. However, I believe if the police, they do their jobs properly, if there is no evidence, then obviously nothing will come of it. But I agree with this stance that the government is finally taking. I believe it is long overdue.
Yes.
Jamaica need to take a stance when it comes on to these kinds of things, sexual abuse. It is too rampant in our society. It is too rampant in our country. And it has been going on for a very long time. And a lot of us, and I say also because I am a Jamaican man, get away with too much when it comes to abusing women in our society. Things that we don't necessarily see as sexual abuse.
Yes.
It is sexual abuse. You know what I mean? And so I am happy that finally the government, a little bit late to the table, but at least it's better to be late than never. They're taking steps, though incremental, to address the issue of sexual abuse in Jamaica.
I agree. And as Jackie says, she says, I agree, sex offenders coming from overseas should be on a registry in Jamaica, of course. And
and I think even saying that she did not know that they had a such registry in Jamaica.
Well, there you have it. You do have the registry in Jamaica. It's perhaps not public knowledge.
It's not public, and because and there was the thing right. There was a debate about that at some point. Why do we have a sex registry that is not made available to the public? This thing should be made available to the public in every police station, in every post office, you need to know who these people are.
And the thing is, in Jamaica, there's always the saying, if America catch flu, then Jamaica pick it up. And it's not just an America and a Jamaica thing. It's universal. There are countries that they do have that policy in place. We are just now putting structure to it.
Yes.
Right? There was no structure. It is just there. So now we're applying structure in place, and all who need to pay attention, better pay attention. That's all they're saying, because we're after you. Because it needs to stop. Too many adults can tell you that they saw their mother being beaten up, and it continues to this very day in a marital union. We're not talking just common law, people living together, blah, blah. And that goes across the board. But they need to stop.
I was having a conversation recently, Lady D, surrounding this very same topic. Are you hearing me?
Yes, man, I'm hearing you.
Okay, yeah, I kind of cut out a little bit. Yeah, I was having a conversation recently surrounding this very same topic. And, it dawned on me that Jamaican men, really, a lot of Jamaican men, they really do not know what is sexual abuse, because of the way we were cultured and the way we were brought up. And I use one example that is very, very common in Jamaica. A woman or a girl, lady, whatever, you may be dating somebody. And the woman might not be ready to be fully committed to go the extra step of engaging in sexual intercourse with the person, with the man. But because the man feels entitled, the woman will go to his house, for a visit or whatever.
Yeah.
And the man would probably, and this is something that is very rampant in Jamaica, the man will rape the woman. And I'm using the term rape. Mm-hmm. But in Jamaica, we don't use the term rape in such a case. Mm-hmm. We say, you hold her and take it.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And they don't see it as a crime.
Right.
And a lot of us, and if you notice, I'm using myself, because I grew up under that culture. Mm-hmm. A lot of us grew up hearing older guys saying the same thing, and it becomes a part of us. We feel that as long as she comes in contact with us that kind of way, you can, quote unquote, hold her and take it.
Yes.
And nothing happens. You know what I mean? And you expect as a man that tomorrow morning
I agree.
She should see you and smile with you and laugh with you
and make breakfast
and be
yeah,
and continue the relationship as if nothing happens, because it was just a part for the course, and Jamaicans, we need to get rid of that kind of mentality.
But can I also say, it's 28 minutes after 6 o'clock. Good afternoon, everyone. It is keeping you in the know with news, happenings, and facts. If you'd like to call us, be a part of the discussion, we would love to have you. 914-600-4228. 914-600-4228. The show is brought to you by Corey's Eats, 3762 Boston Road. We deliver, powered by Uber Eats. Open Monday to Thursday, 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. Friday and Saturday, 6 a.m. to 2 a.m. 347-947-9200. Get your waffle sandwich today. Chris, these things stem from when we are young children. We would say little picnic. I don't know about you, but in my community, when I was growing up, you would have the bars, right? And as you're getting older in your adolescent age, puberty and so on, especially girls, you would hear grown men, when we are passing, saying, oh, a little one there get ripe, man. You see, she a shoot. And you're passing and hearing them, and you are conscious that it's you they're talking about. And then the little boys in the area, our age group, are hearing this kind of a language use. And so they pick it up, and it moves from that phase as they get older. And so the advancement, how they approach girls is just so unbecoming, because half of them were not told. They just pick up by the wayside, and they carry it right into their marital relationships. And sometimes women will just go on just because. They don't want to say to you in the dating phase that, listen, this is not how you do it, because sometimes they don't want them to leave them. So nothing is done before you get in there, and then you get in there and it becomes worse. So we agree today that it is a necessity. It needs to be there so men will be more aware and conscious and know that the habits that they have towards women will stop.
It's a cultural thing. Yeah,
It's horrible. It's horrible. It's
cultural thing.
horrible. Horrible. And you know, people will grow up with all kind of inhibitions and stuff because why? That was the thing of the day. So now they put a hold. You're getting caught right there. So, and wherever you're coming from, as the article indicates, once your name on record, that's it for you.
Yes.
That's it. So again, 914-600-4228. We do have more headlines for you this afternoon, 6:31 p.m. Let me take you to a headline here. Now, here is a headline that came out of, and this is International News Now, where it is reported that, and we understand that this COVID-19, it's global. And so there are communities in Kenya that have shut down. Okay, so as Kenya keeps schools shut, right, like everybody else, they realize that the teen pregnancies are rising. And you wonder, so how it rising if children are supposed to be home, parents helping children, teachers are coming into the homes and helping children. But the art, and I found that very interesting, but certainly not something that couldn't be happening, right? So it says, and I'll just pick up because most of it is pretty much quotes, but I can pick up the section that I believe is of great importance to this article. It says that here is a lady who says her son, a junior in high school, is resigned. Like most Kenyans, he doesn't have a tablet or a laptop. So he's trying to keep up with whatever books he can get his hands on. But mostly these days, he's making bracelets. And we know how Africans are very innovative and creative. Some beads his mother bought him. So he's doing his little thing on the side. The father says her kids are mostly okay, but in Kibera, many parents live on the $1 or $2 they make from whatever work they can find every day, so they cannot stay home with their kids. More and more, she says, she's getting calls from parents in the neighborhood that their teenage daughters are pregnant. Kenya has long had one of the highest underage pregnancy rates in the world. But since early March, counties have reported thousands of cases, citing an increase in teenage pregnancies. President Kenyatta ordered his National Crime Research Center to investigate. Quote, life has changed completely, Dafala says, and chances are that many kids will never go back to school. Now, we are fortunate in this country, and let's say other countries across the globe, where many parents had to stay home and couldn't go anywhere, right? So they worked from home and their children were also with them. But here you have, not many were able to stay home because we know that the poverty level is so high and rigid that while the children are home and trying to do their best to do their schoolwork from home, they have to leave them. And so when they leave them, this is what happens. They are approached. People come into their, because you know some of the villages, they are still working with the thatched roof and so on. They don't have building structure. So people just walk through yards, linking from one to the next. And so you have some unscrupulous boys and men who just walk through people's place and sexually abuse their girls. And here you have such a high rate of pregnancies. And as they're saying, it is not likely that school is going to reopen. So one, they're going to have baby. Two, they're going to have to stay home with baby. And three, they just have to stay home.
Yeah.
This article just upset me. It upsets me because it tells you that you still have some really crude practices in nations across the world.
Yes, yes.
Mm-hmm. So I just wanted to mention that. What's your next headline? And again,
All right,
hold your thought.
Mhm.
Hold your thought. Again, ladies and gentlemen, you don't have to wait for us to end the program, and that's when the calls are coming in. You can call right throughout the program. We'll pause, we'll take your calls, we'll have a discussion with you. 914-600-4228. 914-600-4228. Give us a call. Let's hear from you. Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, the next headline I have here is PNP rejects Holness retirement transition argument for DPP tenure extension.
Mm-hmm.
And this has to do with the DPP who was set to retire later this year. Mm-hmm. Opposition spokesperson on Justice, Senator Donna Scott Motley, is rejecting Prime Minister Andrew Holness's justification for extending the tenure of DPP Paula Llewellyn for 3 years. Ms. Llewellyn was set to retire as Director of Public Prosecutions when she turned 60 in September. Mm-hmm. However, Prime Minister Holness announced this week, which was last week, that her term will be extended. Mm-hmm. Mrs. Scott Motley is also refuting statements that Mr. Holness attributed to opposition leader Dr. Peter Phillips in addressing the matter. It went on. Prime Minister Holness said this week that one of the reasons for extending Ms. Llewellyn's tenure was to allow more time for a proper transition when she retired. But Mr. Scott Motley says the DPP's upcoming retirement should have been known. It's been revealed that opposition leader Dr. Peter Phillips had objected to the extension of Ms. Llewellyn's tenure. He reportedly wrote a letter to the Governor General saying that the DPP's office had a poor track record on prosecuting corruption. Prime Minister Holness had also claimed that one of the grounds of Dr. Phillips' objection was that an incoming administration shouldn't be tied to the existing DPP. However, Senator Scott Motley is denying that claim.
In an interview with her last week on one of the major radio stations in Jamaica, the interviewer was trying to press her to find out what her plans were, because they understood that she was approaching retirement age and would she want to continue. But of course, she didn't answer that question. They were trying to trick her, and she didn't take them on with that because she couldn't disclose. We know that the Director of Public Prosecutions, they have had some very steamy encounters for several years now. They are there for a specific reason. And a lot of times I think the way in which they were taught, trained, and how they execute their judgments based on evidence and findings have not always met a lot of people's expectations. And so they have their relationship with many of the people in the political sphere and other organizations. They don't have a good relationship, right? It's not mutual, but they look at it as business. Now, the fact that she is approaching retirement age, somebody would have had to be prepped already to take over, or somebody just apply. However that transition would have worked, Chris. It tells me that they didn't have anything. And it also tells me, this is my own personal reasoning on this thing, is that they would have wanted to keep her anyway. I don't think they had anyone.
That's true.
I
That's
don't think they
absolutely
had
true.
anybody.
And it is sad. It is sad that we have to ask this woman who is approaching 60 and has been in public life for her entire life, or she's been serving. And the question I asked when I heard that she was going to, the Prime Minister was going to ask her to stay on, the question I asked is, Jamaica don't have anybody else qualified enough can take her position.
That's what I say.
Why would you want to, after she has served her term, how long? I had it written down, but I can't remember. But over many years, she has served as director of public prosecution. She has served her term. She has done her time. She's now moving into retirement age. Why do we as Jamaicans feel the need to hold on? Why is it that people in power can't just bow out gracefully and say, look, I have done my time, I've made my contribution, let somebody else take up the position, irrespective of your political affiliation or whatever organization you are tied to. The time has come for me to move on. I was very disappointed in Andrew Holness for holding on to this lady. I am disappointed that she wants to hold on to this position. You know what I mean? The time has come.
And she has been in there. It's 12 years. It's 12 years since she has been in.
We have a lot of qualified Jamaicans who can take up that post and do a very good job. Just leave the position. You are not the only one who can do a good job as director of public prosecution. Come on, man. It drives me also to the scenario where, if you notice, all over the world, it's mostly old people run this world, because politics is, politics is the only, aside from the director of public prosecution right now, I'm talking about politics in general. It's the only, you can retire, literally retire from your regular career and then go into politics. So at 60 years old, when you are done, when the world is done with you, they have given up on you with every other organization. Nobody wants you. You are now a has-been, washed up. You now decide that, you have something to offer, so you decide to go run for politics. And that is why the world is in a mess. Because we have pure senile people running this place.
Yes, and then there are people who will favor them. So you are in there because somebody going to favor you. There's that grace that is going to be extended to you. So depending on...
We think...
I'm saying, depending on... right? The rhetoric that you come out with, your pitch and so on, somebody going to say, oh yes, as old as him be, but it makes sense. And so you end up in a seat.
I often think about it in the sense that, all right, everybody else is done with you. Your career that you used to work, they couldn't wait to get rid of you. Because they see you as now old and they want younger people. But for some reason, when you enter politics at 40 years old, think about this, lady. At 40 years old, you enter politics. They say you are young and vibrant. At 50 years old, you enter politics. People call you young.
Yeah.
And I'm like, every other institution, every other occupation see you as old and approaching retirement.
Yeah.
But in politics, you are young and vibrant. And that is why we have two 70-year-old senile old men. That's either going to be
this is like in Russia.
president for the United States.
In Russia, it's pure old people.
I don't know. I don't understand it. I'm really trying to fathom it.
Yeah.
Why is it that in politics is only old people? I don't get it.
Alrighty, it's 13 minutes after 7 o'clock. Again, it's keeping you in the know with news, happenings, and facts here on Linkage Radio, 104.5, 101.7. My name is Lady D. Denise Gomez, alongside
Chris Wilby from Caribbean Vibes Radio.
Alrighty. Now, did you see the brief headline where Usain says, depending on what his former coach says, he might just go back into professional race?
No, I didn't. I didn't see that.
Welcome. Welcome. Let me read it quickly.
That's interesting.
Bowl says, open to comeback if coach asks. Let me share this with you. Jamaican sprint king Usain Bolt has hinted he could be tempted out of retirement if former coach Glenn Mills asked him. The world 100-meter and 200-meter record holder and 8-time Olympic champion told Variety magazine he had no plans to resurrect his sprinting career. However, the 33-year-old told the magazine in a video interview he would at least consider a comeback if veteran coach Mills asked him, and I quote, "If my coach came back and told me, let's do this, I will because I believe so much in my coach," end quote, Bolt said. "So I know if he says we're going to do this, I know it's possible. Give Glenn Mills a call and I'll be back." Bolt, who last competed internationally at the World Championships in London in 2017, where he won bronze in the 100-meter, said he does not visit the track anymore. My coach gets too excited when I come to the track, so I stay away, he said. Bolt, meanwhile, said he is adjusting to life as a father after he and partner Casey Bennett welcomed a baby girl in May. Bolt said fatherhood was harder than breaking a world record. "I got sick that first week as I was scared to fall asleep, so I stayed up at nights just watching." I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but yeah, it happens with the first, and then after that,
I don't know, Biggie.
You can pick me up off of the video. After the second and the third, who gives a crap? You don't care. You can fall off the bed if you want.
There's an ad centered around something like that. So now, I would not encourage Usain to go back into no professional track and field, nothing. Master, go sit down
and enjoy. He has more confidence in his coach
than in himself. But
I was listening to you reading it, and I'm like, okay, so he doesn't believe that he has it within him. But that's why he's not thinking about it. But if the coach
says so,
tell him he's going. That is the most ridiculous statement I've ever heard.
So he had better stay with Casey and baby and keep himself quiet and make all the money off of everything that he has there.
Exactly so.
Come on now.
You have to. It comes right back to the time to what we were talking about. You have to know when to quit.
Chucks. This is where you say chucks. All right, your headline, Chris. You have one. You saw the one about the police. You saw the one about the police constable among 4 charged with illegal possession of
Yeah,
firearms.
let me pull that one up right here. Police constable among 4 charged with illegal possession of firearm and ammunition in Clarendon. A police constable is among 4 men charged with illegal possession of firearm and ammunition in Clarendon. Reports from the Maypen police are that about 1 a.m. on Wednesday, July 8th, lawmen were on patrol when the driver of a Toyota Probus motor car was signaled to stop at the intersection of Glenmore Road and Muirhead Avenue in Maypen, Clarendon. He complied and a search was conducted of the vehicle and one Taurus 9mm pistol with a magazine containing 9mm cartridges, another 9mm pistol with a magazine containing 14 9mm cartridges, and 2 ballistic vests were seized. Charged following the incident are 26-year-old Chevron Downer, a police officer of Pointy Heights District, Old Harbor, St. Catherine, 43-year-old Bertram Burrell, a truck driver of Burnt Ground District, Hanover, 33-year-old Teflon Tennant Farmer of Burnt Ground District, Hanover, 33-year-old Tafari Raff, a tractor operator of Bannister District, Old Harbor, St. Catherine. The men are scheduled to appear before the Clarendon Parish Court on Tuesday, July 14th. I noticed a trend here inside a 43 or 33. I was reading the 33. But anyway, interesting police officers.
No,
you know?
you tell me. The Jamaica Constabulary Force is already not well acknowledged and received by many because of the things that they have done and are doing. But we know that they are still credible law enforcement officers. Now, why, you tell me, would he want to get himself into these kinds of a transaction? What is the benefit, with the exception of getting people killed? When you read these things, you know, it reveals more corruption. It reveals that one particular entity doesn't have full control over their police officers, right? You're there, you're supposed to abide by the law, you're supposed to execute, you're supposed to apply some amount of empathy and care for residents in your communities across the island, and we can go on. And at some point, one of them finds themselves in some kind of corruption that you say to yourself, so with all the murders that take place in Maypen, Clarendon, and Clarendon, the parish in general, you do have a lot of stuff in the back. How people are getting firearms, how these men are going around at nights doing all kind of evil.
Yeah, they're getting protection. Some of them are getting protection from the same police officers.
Shucks, man.
And they're getting information, knowing when the police, when there's going to be a raid on the community and all of that. You know, they know firsthand, so they know to take with themselves.
Oh, it's a mess. Just a mess.
Yeah, it's. But you know, we will never be rid of these kind of actions, because I think it's human nature. You're going to have criminals in every organization. You know, unfortunately, that's just how the world is, because people, they have their ulterior motive. Mm-hmm. You know, you have criminal in the justice system, lawyers, doctors, teachers. You know, you just have people who give their organization a bad name.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
You know, and overall, you have very good men and women in the police force. But when you have these thugs and these criminals, and it is highlighted, it gives the entire force a bad rap, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
because the image is not very good already.
Of
And
course
when you
not.
have these kind, it just goes back and people start pointing and say, "Aha, I told you."
Yes.
You know, it's unfortunate.
Man, that's just a mess. It's such a mess. Let's see. Let me take a quick look over at the YouTube page. So, Aldith had made a comment concerning the headline I read about the children, the young girls who are getting pregnant. She says there is no supervision as parents must go out to work due to the high level of poverty. This is just so sad and unfortunate. So the cycle continues and the poverty rate goes even higher. She says, wicked cycle. Jackie now says, with regards to Paula Llewellyn, she no have nothing else to do. Time for she go enjoy life. Politics so sweet. Really, lady? That's what Jackie says. All right, and we're winding down.
Also, I want to say good evening and welcome to everybody on my page. We'll be there. Jackie Churchill is there. Pansy Watson, good evening to you, Pansy. How are you? And China Chin Mealy says,
Hey,
I'm at
China
work,
Chin.
so I can only listen in. Sorry. And she put up a little sorry face here. So we understand China Chin Mealy. Thank you for logging on anyway. If it says maybe they're not enforcing that law in respect to the article we spoke about.
Yes.
With the sexual registry. You know, so they're working on it, Yvette, you know, and you know, let's give them a little bit of
Time.
faith and
Yes.
hope that they will get to it.
All righty. Well, it's time to wrap up. It's 3 minutes to 7 o'clock.
Yes, another Monday evening. Thank you once again, listeners. Thank you to the listeners of Linkage Radio and the entire team inside the zone, keeping you in the know. We're hoping that we will be back here next week, same time, to do it all over again. In the meantime, stay blessed, everybody.
Absolutely. Blessings, Chris Welby. Alrighty, that was the segment keeping you in the know with news, happenings, and facts here inside the zone with Lady D, Denise Gomez, and Chris Welby. Linkage Radio, your budding and buzzing station, 24/7, 365 days for the year. We want to say hi to everyone tuning in, and of course, it's now 2 minutes and counting to wrapping up the show. Thanks to Corey's Eats, 3762 Boston Road. I want to get some jumbo shrimp. That's my favorite, the jumbo shrimp, and the cheesecake waffle. Haven't had it in a bit, but I've had it before, the cheesecake waffle. Stop by 3762 Boston Road and say, man, I hear Lady D talking about the waffle. I want to try one. And you just say the one you want to try, all right? And say, tell me want to have them. You know, people, when they go into these restaurants and they want a place, they say, what you have today? And, you know, Lord, we're colorful. So I want to say hi to everybody and thank you so much for sticking and staying with me. Today was my Steel Pulse Monday, and I hope you enjoyed the selections. And I'm looking forward to being back on Thursday with Center Stage, the platform where voices are heard and people connect. Taking it down right now with Steel Pulse, Rally Round. Let's rally round. Rally round, everybody, rally round, because we're going to go to what we say. You ever hear some people say, me gone to me yard? So I'm going home. Me gone to me yard too. You're perhaps home at your yard already, or you're out or you're about doing stuff, but thank you so much, or you're on the job or wherever you are. Blessings to all of you, as always. Love yourselves, love your children, and remember, in everything you do, it is the will of God concerning your life. Leaving you with Steel Pulse, Rally Round.